Greetings, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to my new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast series. We have been overwhelmed with the responses that people have shared from listening to these messages on my SiriusXM show over the years. Those listeners, and they're sharing my show with their network, telling people about it, telling their family members, their friends, and their coworkers about this show and the impact it's having on their lives. That's the main reason that this show is now number one for self-help in America, and I'm very grateful. Yet we realize that many people do not have satellite radio and therefore could not experience for themselves the message. They could not get it for themselves. So we are now sharing these messages with everyone via this new podcast. Enjoy it and share it with your network. And let's help even more people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Tell everybody so that they can live a Wealthy Ways life as well. Welcome to the new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. And remember, your best is yet to come.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My mind. It's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think that it takes too much time, think again, 'cause I'm telling you it don't. The fact is, it only takes a minute to make up your mind, and now is your time to make your run. It only takes a minute, 60 seconds to begin to decide to win. Just get it on.
Woo-wee! Oh, I love it. I love that song. Well, I tell you, it only takes a minute. Well, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me. Can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. Hello, everybody across America. This is Willie Jolley back on the air one more time to give you a message and some information that will hopefully help you grow and go to the next level. You know, I am grateful for this opportunity to be on the air, to give this information, but also to receive it, because as I get it and share it with you, I'm really being blessed from some of the brightest and best minds in the world. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to be on the air with you. Now, I always take a moment to give God glory for everything, just for life, for strength, for health. If you've got your strength, if you got your health, if you just got life, you might be struggling with some health issues, but you've got life. There's an opportunity for that to turn around. If you've got life, you can turn this around. So we want to give God glory for just strength and health and hope and life. I am grateful. I say it every week. God's gift to you is life. Your gift to God is what you do with your lives. So I encourage you to make the most of your lives. Live your life to the fullest. Go all out, because, you have been blessed with a gift. It's called life. And so use it to the fullest. Well, today's guest is a gentleman that I'm grateful to have as a friend. He's a friend in my network. This guy is a big thinker, a make it happen guy. Now, you might know his name, but then again, you might not. But I'm telling you, know him, because if you've ever watched television, if you've watched all of the business channels, if you've watched The Apprentice, that's right, The Apprentice with Donald Trump, and you've watched it over the seasons, over the years, you've seen him. He was the chief marketing officer for Kodak, and The Apprentice 1 year was promoting a product by Kodak, and the contestants, the celebrity contestants, had to figure out ways to help market this, and this gentleman was the expert who made the final choice of which team won. He is, I met him years ago at the National Speakers Association. He was a marketing expert who spoke on marketing, but he was also a success thinker. He went from one agency and one organization, turned him around, and went on to the next one. He was a turnaround expert. He is a brilliant, and when I say brilliant, I mean brilliant. He's going to help you today. He is the author of a number of books. His latest book, I got in and I read it. I'm saying, wow, this guy pulls no punches, goes right and tells you what you got to do. His name is Jeffrey Hayzlett. We call him Jeff Hayzlett. He got a new book called Running the Gauntlet. He has a best-selling book that came out a couple years ago called The Mirror Test, and he is the former CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Kodak, and now is one of the celebrity marketing and business experts on television across America and around the world. And I'm honored to have him as my guest. Jeff, good to have you, buddy.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks, man. After that lead up on the intro, I don't think we got any more time to talk. But that was good. That was better than my mom would have done. Man, I appreciate it.
Well, it's all true, and I'm glad to have you. You know, you're making it happen, man. You are making it happen.
Well, we're having a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. I've been running. My book title is called Running the Gauntlet, and I feel like I've been running the gauntlet. I'm in New York today. I'm heading to Mexico City in a few minutes to go speak to 9,000 business people and marketers and brands down there. So I'm having a blast. I mean, this is, you know that, Willie. You've been on stages all over the world. You're a great motivator yourself. People tune in from all over the country to listen to you. And you got some big people like Les Brown and Colin Powell and some of the greatest leaders in the world who come on your show. But, you know, we have fun.
Absolutely, we do.
And that's what, you know, any business person, if that's what, I tell people, Willie, that, you know, I have three things in life I want to do, and it's got to meet a criteria. I don't want to do it. And that one is I want to build wealth for my family. Two, I want to grow professionally. And three, I want to have fun.
Right.
And whenever you can put those together, for me, man, it's heaven, and that's what I get to do every day.
You know, I think that's a profound message that you just said that, and it's in your book. I had actually read that in your book about the fact that you've got to make some decisions about what's important to you and what are the things that make you get up and go and make you make the decisions about what you're going to do and where you're going to put your time and energy. And that was one of the things that really caught my eye when you said, you know what, you got to make some decisions. If this ain't working, fire this, you know, leave it.
Well, if you don't, why are you doing what you're doing? I mean, don't you think you should go in every day with purpose of, here's the things I'm going to get done today? I mean, I sit down at the beginning of every morning and I make a list of all the things I'm going to get done today. Now, a lot of times I carry that list over because I just don't get them done. But I do my best, and you should do that with your life, too. I mean, you know, what is it I want to do with my kids? What is it I want to do with my wife? What is it I want to do with the rest of my family, my business, you know, my spirituality, whatever it might be? And I think it's a good lesson for us.
I think you're right. Absolutely. In this book, folks, he says that, you know, he calls them conditions of satisfaction in business and in life. And I had to mark it. You know, it says, if I can't not meet these working with you or a particular business, I don't go in. And when I'm in and I don't feel it, I'm out. And those conditions.
But, you know, even more importantly, let me add this other little word in front of it.
Yes.
Because it's mutual conditions of satisfaction when you're dealing with more than one person. You know, because if you and I are in a relationship, you know, just like we're doing this radio show, I got to be interesting or you don't want me on.
Right.
You know, so it's called mutual conditions of satisfaction. Of course, I want to be on the radio because I want people to hear me and talk about, you know, my book and, you know, going to go out and buy Running the Gauntlet or the Mirror Test or whatever I might be selling. So it's always in life we have mutual conditions of satisfaction. We got that with our kids. We got it with our spouses. We certainly have it in business every day, and we probably have it with most of our friends. Some of those are unwritten, but if we understand what those conditions of satisfaction are around our life, it makes things so much simpler.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You were right on. And so, folks, let me make sure you got those three conditions of satisfaction and mutual conditions of satisfaction. Build wealth for your family. Build wealth for your family. Make it important to build wealth. I'm going to go through each one a little bit, Jeff.
By the way, in building wealth for your family, I mean, you can have an hourly job and still build wealth for your family.
Let's talk about it, Doc. I want to go in there. Dig in there a little bit. Because wealth
wealth doesn't just come in terms of money.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, you want to try to have as much of that as possible but, a lot of times my wife will tell you I do what I do every day, that Jeff Hayzlett goes in and does what he does every day just for the fun of it. And she said, you'd do it for free. And she's right. I would.
Right.
But, making the money is how we keep track. So
That's
I do like
right.
that part of
That's
it.
right.
Donald Trump's taught me, my good friend Donald Trump's taught me that one thing in life.
That's right. Keep track of it, but having it important to make wealth. And he and I both are speakers, folks, and we both are part of the Speakers Association, and we met there. And we do this because we love to do it. We don't speak to live; we live to speak, and we just love doing it. But we keep track by the money we make, and we know what we have has value. And if we're good at what we do, and we can make an impact, people will pay us, and we can make a profit. So create wealth, whatever it is you do, whatever your gift is, whatever your passion, whatever you love to do, or what are you doing for a living, do it with excellence and make it important to create wealth. So first condition of satisfaction is build wealth for your family and your future. Second one is grow professionally. Let's talk about that one a little bit.
Well, don't you want to be the best that you are at what you do? I mean, when people see me come through the door, and, I only work with high-growth companies, and I don't work with companies very long. I mean, that's my specialty, is to come into a company, change it, move it, or get out. And I understand that if I don't do that, I can get tossed out. And I'm okay with that in my life and the way in which I do it. But when I come through the door, people see me, or they pick up my book, Running the Gauntlet, or they see me on Fox, or they see me on CNBC, I want them to say, there goes a smart business guy. There's a guy who knows how to do marketing. And so, you want to be the best that you can. So you want to enter into a job or enter into an agreement or a relationship with someone you're working with that you're going to be able to use those skills and do it the way you want to do it and have, again, we'll get to the fun part, but to grow professionally. It's got to be a challenge. Otherwise, no pain, no gain. And so that's really what you want to be able to have.
Absolutely. And folks, I can't say it enough. I'm glad you are listening to this show right now, wherever you might be, in your car, in your home, because you're probably somebody who has made this part of your weekly routine, because I'm focused on growing you as a person. I believe that the best way to grow your future is always to grow yourself. The best way to grow your organization is grow your people. And if you get in a mindset and in a constant development process, you will grow your income. So Jeff is right on. Build wealth. And how do you do it? You grow professionally, personally and professionally. Read the books. This book, Running the Gauntlet, is terrific. His first book, The Mirror Test, was terrific. We bring on the best thinkers who have books and ideas for you, because they will grow you. So I want you to make a point to go. We're going to tell when we come back in the next segment where you can go to Jeff's website and all that. But the last part, real quick, in the last minute and a half we have before we have to take a break, let's talk about having fun. It should be fun, shouldn't it?
I mean, look, it's nice to get paid. It's nice to grow professionally. But man, having fun. I mean, if you don't like the people you're working with, why are you even messing around with it?
Right.
Or if we didn't have fun on this radio interview, Willie, what would be the fun? It makes it so much better.
Absolutely.
When it's fun, because then the time goes by, and we want to do it again and again and again. And that's the way your job should be. That and it's not a job; it's what you do. I love to get up every day. I can't wait to go back into the office, or to get on the phone, or to talk to the people and grow their businesses, because it's so much fun.
Absolutely. Folks, this is huge. Some people put it in passion, some people put it as desire, but it's about having fun. And I remember a guy years ago, a salesman said, man, I said, how you doing? He said, I'm making money and having fun. And you know what, folks? That's life. That's the best part of life. Have fun. Find something you love to do and that you enjoy doing. And just like Jeff said, he gets up every morning excited about another day of doing, rather than waking up and say, I got to go into the job. But you get up excited to be excited about your future and your finances and the possibilities, and go about it having fun. You're listening to my friend Jeff Hayzlett, the author of the brand new best-selling book, Running the Gauntlet. We're going to talk about that title and also the lessons you can learn in here when we come back. You're listening to the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show here on Sirius XM Channel 141, HUR Voices across America. And for sure, the best is yet to come. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and if you're enjoying this information you're hearing on this podcast, I want to invite you to get even more great information on my new free gift page on my website. Go to wjspeaks.com and hit the All Access badge. On that page, you will find information and resources specifically designed to help you to have greater success. Free ebooks, music, all sorts of interesting and informational interviews for my XM show. I'm telling you, this is a great page. And why do I do it? Because I've learned that the more we give, the more we get. And the more we help other people to grow and go to the next level, the more we receive in our business. So we want to help you. Tell your friends about it. Go to Facebook and get my information. Go to my website, get my free resources, and get on wjspeaks.com and hit that All Access badge. It looks like a backstage pass. Click it. You'll get behind the scenes information to the special page to help you grow. All we want in return, all we ask is that you pass it on, because the more you give, the more you get. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get until you try it. So you might as well live life to the fullest. Give it your best shot. You might as well sing like you don't need the money. Love like you'll never get hurt. Dance like nobody's watching. Put your whole heart in it if you want it to work. I hope you dance. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but you never lose that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. And God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. When you get the choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
Wow, you know, I am so grateful that we play these songs. That's music from my Money Making Music and Motivation album and CD set and DVD set, actually. You can go on iTunes and get Willie Jolley music. Just look for Willie Jolley motivational music, or you can go to williejolly.com, or you can go to any of the online music spots. Get that song, listen to it, get the whole album, download them on your iPod or iPad or iPhone or whatever MP3 you got, and listen to it. It will inspire you. I've had more people around the world who say they listen to it every day and their numbers have gone up, their success has gone up, because what you fill your mind with is what you will become, negative or positive. I encourage you to fill it up with the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Well, my guest today is from the marketing world. He's an expert in business and marketing. He is a former chief marketing officer for Kodak, but that's just one of the companies he's worked with. He has been on The Apprentice as the expert that Donald Trump brought in to help whip him into shape. And he has a new book called Running the Gauntlet. And I'm going to give a shout out right now for his agent, who is a dear friend of mine. Her name is Wendy Keller. And so, America, you ever hear of a lady named Wendy Keller? She's gorgeous. She's terrific. She's brilliant. And she has got this book. I love the back of the book. It says, change your attitude, change your business, change your future. And on the quotes, we've had Damon John on when I was on the other XM channel, and I'll call Damon to get him on this show.
He's big. He's good.
He's good. I had him, and he's from Shark Tank, and Ivanka Trump.
I got Ivanka. Now, she's a lot better looking than Damon.
Yeah, she certainly is.
A good guy, but...
And then I had our dear friend Darren Hardy, who also I've had on the show, and I have to give him back from Success Magazine. So you making it happen, man. You just making it happen.
We're having a lot of fun. And Wendy, she's one of the best. She's tough, too. You know that.
Oh, I know.
And it's the only time I ever have, I pay her money, and she yells at me. So, that's you know they're good when that
That's
happens.
Right. She's a great literary agent.
Wife. I know she's good, and she yells at me, so that's good.
Well, look, you've been helping companies and people. And we're talking offline about the fact that you've been working with individuals as well, helping them to get their mindset straight. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, today I met with a bunch of entrepreneurs who are starting up a company. It's called Cream HR, Cream.HR, and it's a new site that they're doing, and they have a different system for being the way you hire people, and I just love it. And they're young entrepreneurs who are getting it going, and they need a more gray hair, wider, savage, or a sage, or not, maybe even a little savage.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because I'm known for that. I'm known for being from South Dakota as being a cowboy, and I ride in on the horse and the guns blazing, and let's get it going. And so it's just great to be able to sit down with people and just have real conversations. And that's
tell me some of the things you told them.
Philosophy is about it, Willie.
Tell me some of the things you would say to a new group of entrepreneurs like them. Just some of the basic things you would sit and say.
I think it's important for companies right now, especially to really focus on growth. We've been great about cutting, and what we need to do is get really good about growing. So, and to be real about it. So to have what I call radically transparent conversations. Not get yourself caught up into stories about how you might be doing the business or the way you might be doing the business, but are you really doing it? Are you going to be able to close the sale? Are you in some kind of story about what the sales pipeline process is? And so I really try to get people to, and that's what my first book about was called The Mirror Test. Looking in the mirror and asking yourself some tough questions. Because when you're in business, Will, you know this, nobody's coming to help you.
Right, that's right. Cavalry's not coming.
You think you got an attorney, a banker, you've got an accountant, and they're all going to help you. They'll help you as long as you pay them.
Right.
But it's really the person that's responsible for the sales, person responsible for the business, the margins, making sure the business is clean and looks good and everything else is the one staring back at you in the mirror.
You're right. You're right. That's huge. Folks, this is huge, that your success is dependent on the person you look at in the mirror every day. Your success, and you've got to take full responsibility for it. And that's something we've learned, Jeff and I've learned over the years, that we have agents, we have booking agents, we have literary agents, we have staff. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it literally is on us. Whatever you're going to do, good, bad, up or down, you have to take responsibility. And if Jeff Hayzlett or Willie Jolley, you see us fail, you can say, hey, it wasn't because of their age. We're taking full responsibility. And so that is important. Look in the mirror, ask yourself those tough questions.
And don't go blaming somebody else either. That's the other thing. I mean, we do that a lot. Sometimes we want to go and blame somebody, but really, again, it always goes back to what I call the mirror test, looking back in the mirror. But if you're going to, as I said in my book, Running the Gauntlet, and the other thing I tell entrepreneurs is take some risk.
Right.
You're going to be a beginner, so be willing to be a beginner. And I've been a beginner many times in my life, in my career, where I've had to start from scratch. And we'd like to think that we get to a certain level, we don't have to do that again. You do it all the time. Like the first time I wanted to go out and be a cowboy, riding a horse, I had to go find somebody to teach me how to ride.
I love that story. In the book, he tells the story. I wanted to learn how to ride a horse. I'm in South Dakota. I got a big ranch. I want to learn how to ride a horse, and I go get a teacher, and the teacher's 13 years old or 14.
Yeah. I mean, here's this big. I'm 6 foot, 3, 280 pounds, big strapping guy, and I'm walking up to this little petite 14-year-old. And saying, hey, can you teach me how to ride my horse? I mean, how embarrassing is that? But you know what? My desire to ride that horse was greater than my embarrassment.
Absolutely.
And now I can do everything with a horse. I can saddle the horse. I can take care of the horse. I can shoe the horse. I trim the horse's hoofs. I can do everything that I need to know about that horse short of being a veterinarian. But had I not been willing to take the risk, think of all the benefit that I would have missed out on. So in order for you to be a maestro, you got to play a lot of bad notes.
Stop right there. That's a pearl, folks. I can't let him go. In order to be a maestro, you got to be willing to play a bunch of bad notes along the way. Woo! Woo, folks. And yet, if you're willing to do it. And there's one other pearl he dropped in here that you got to take, because in the book, you just kind of mention that you are learning from this 13, 14-year-old girl. But what it is you are willing to not let your ego get in the way of your growth. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. And folks, you might learn from anybody. I learn from everybody. I'm learning every day from somebody new. And I'm saying, what can I learn? We were both at the National Speakers Association convention. There's some young new speakers who doing some young new stuff that I didn't think about. I have no idea, but I'm learning from them. And
think about it. Well, I mean, look, I gave a little talk when I was there.
Right.
And in my audience were some of the greatest speakers in the world, yourself and Harvey McKay and Brian Tracy and some of the people that you have on this show. And they're in my audience learning from me, just like I would be in their audience or in other people's audience. I try to go through life with the attitude of I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
And that's I know a lot, okay? I'm a pretty smart guy, but I also don't know what I don't know. So I try to be aware and be a constant state of awareness, which means I'm a hunter, and I like to hunt. So now I know some people listening on the radio probably might not like that. Well, I'm from South Dakota, so I just got to tell you something. Get over it. So, but that's my South Dakota coming through. But and I get that. But I try to be in a sense of awareness, and so that makes me a better hunter. That makes me a better person. Makes me a better husband. Makes me a better father. By trying to be more aware of the things that are going on around me, of the things that I really don't know, and look for those things, and that gives me greater chances for other opportunities and greater chance for advancement, learning, education, and a whole host of other things.
Absolutely. Now, folks, before we go any further, where can people get in touch with you and get the book? Because they need to know about you.
You can find me anywhere on the internet. All you got to do is look up Hayzlett, Hayzlett, Jeffrey Hayzlett, and you can find me at Hayzlett.com, but you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Facebook. We're everywhere. We try to be as prolific. I'm one of the top 10 C-level executives in the world who Twitter. So, but beyond Twitter, you'll find me anywhere online. Just look at Hayzlett. Hayzlett, and you can find me.
Hayzlett, okay, folks? Hayzlett.
Hayzlett. I think we've said it enough.
I want people to get that because you were absolutely right. There's one thing I've always been impressed with you about, Jeff, is that you were on the cutting edge of social media before it became popular. I mean, we had a session some years ago in New York. And you remember that? And you were there talking about there's this thing coming called social media, folks. You better get on it, and you better be thinking about it. And we were all poo-pooing it and saying, why would I need to tweet? Because somebody need to know what I'm doing and where I'm. And you said, listen, don't take that mindset. Think different. I mean, you've been doing this you've been leading that charge a long time, and you were on it, top of it.
I was one of the very first 1,000 people on Twitter, and look how many, hundreds of millions there are today. So, the thing is, I like that. I like the use of social media because it's OPM, other people's money. So I like to be able to be engaged with my communities and be in touch with them, and it's a great way to show your brand. I got to tell you, and I tell speakers this, it's my number one source of referrals of anything I do has been social media and that engagement with the communities. And we used to measure stuff by eyeballs and ears,
Right.
And now it's not about that. It's about really engaging hearts and minds. And that's what I try to focus on.
So let me ask you this question.
One person all the time.
So when you tweet, what do you tweet? Tell me just the idea of something.
Willie, I got on for the reason of Twitter to let my family know what I was doing. And I do the same exact thing today. So I just have now a family of hundreds of thousands that follow between all of our channels. And so all I do is try to let people know this is what I do.
Wow.
And I try not to be any different. And I tweet about things back on my place in South Dakota, about trapping the beavers that are eating all my trees along the river because I don't have that many trees. I want to save them. Or I talk about my day. And in fact, I tweeted out and posted the fact that I was going to be interviewed by you today, because I want people to know that they can listen in and participate, or they're going to catch it later, and I'm proud of that. And so just like I'm talking to my kids or my wife, hey, honey, hey kids, this is what I'm going to do today.
Wow,
and it lets people know. Now, you can be interested or not interested. That's up to you. But along the way, I also try to give words of wisdom, just like I would do to my family, and that's what I do every day.
I love that. Folks, that was a powerful piece. Because many people say, well, what I have, he just told you that. I got that. I wrote that down. I say to people, when I have these guests on, I'm taking notes just like everybody else. What he said, what would you say to your family? Here's where I am. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm thinking right now. And you should know about it. It was just something that I thought I'd share with you. Say it like you say to your family grows, your contacts grow, your network grows. And that impacts your business over the time.
Well, I got to tell you, one time ago, a Financial Times reporter from over in Europe was following myself and Sir Richard Branson around. And she followed us around for a couple days, and she followed our Twitter feed. And she said, I really don't care. And she wrote on Twitter, I really don't care that you're at this place or this place. So I tweeted her back. I said, quit following me. And I didn't ask you to follow me, but if you're going to follow me, this is what I'm going to talk about. I've had some detractors.
Hold that thought for 1 second. I got to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick pause for station identification. Yeah, absolutely, folks. We're right back, and we're listening to Jeff Hayzlett, the author of Running the Gauntlet, Gauntlet, and he was talking about how he was in London and he was tweeting and he and Richard Branson were talking back and forth and many people know about Richard Branson, the great entrepreneur, starter of Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Music, the whole deal. And Jeff is a CMO, a Chief Marketing Officer, and he tweets. And that has made a difference in your business and your career, hasn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, it's absolutely, without question. For me, it's the number one engagement tool that we have with the customers, and it's been my number one source of leads. I get more leads. Speakers sometimes will say, Jeff, I don't understand what you get out of this or so forth. I'm saying, well, then by all means don't do it, because I'm getting leads from it. I'm getting people who are talking to me on a regular basis. In fact, some days I'm overwhelmed by it, by the number of fans that are talking about us and what we're doing and so forth. I just love it.
Wow.
It's a great engagement
That's
tool.
Brilliant, man. I think this is brilliant for folks who are small business people, entrepreneurs who are thinking about starting their business. The internet has changed the game, hasn't it?
Oh, without question. It's there's certain things that you don't like about it, but there's a lot of things that you do. Think about Facebook, Willie, just that alone. A lot of people say, well, I don't like it. It's not, what would I want to do on that? But I got to tell you, I have deeper relationships with some of my relatives and friends than I would without it, because I have relatives who are all over the country. I get to see what they're doing every day. I get to see what my friends' kids are doing. And we're now tighter because of that. And I get to see that they went on a hike or they're having a birthday party, all these different things. And it's so cool that I'm in touch with their lives, and it's enriched my life because of it. And I got to give Mark Zuckerberg at least that. I don't care for a lot of other stuff he does, but I do care about the fact that they've done that, because it has enriched my life. And you just got to find different things inside that social media that's good for you.
Now, this book, Running the Gauntlet, let's talk about a couple things that I think are just profound in here. There's a piece in here that I just caught my attention. It's in chapter number 11, Accept and Encourage Mistakes. Mistakes help you assess your team and determine if you need to recruit people or skilled technicians. But there's one line in there that I thought, I had to mark it in red. That your first lesson in accepting mistakes, don't let the perfect get in the way of the good. Good God, let's talk about that, man. And you gave a great story about that. About people who had opportunities come their way because it wasn't perfect, they didn't take it, and later learned that they missed on opportunities because sometimes they don't come in the package you look at. Isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely. How many times have we tried to get things right and perfect. By the time we got it perfect, the opportunity passes by.
Right, that's right.
Or whatever it might have been, or we tried to get the picture perfect, and by the time then the baby started crying, or what? We can go on and on.
That's right, that's right.
And we just don't. Who cares? Move on. It's close enough. And the other thing I tell people, Willie, and I want to bring out, and one of the biggest things, especially for entrepreneurs and business people who are listening, is to take risk. What happens if you fail? You're not going to die. No one, by and large, for anything that you or I do, when we take a risk in business, the most that's going to happen to us maybe a paper cut, and even then we're not using paper like we used to, so it's probably just a digital cut.
Right.
So, I mean, my point is take risk. Give it a shot. What's the worst thing that could happen? A little embarrassment? Maybe. I mean, just, even if it's that, say, move on.
Absolutely.
So I really want to tell people, take risks. It doesn't have to always be perfect. Just give it a shot and refine it as you go. Change it as you go. In the digital world, that's what we should be doing anyway.
Our dear friend Larry Wingett says, implement now, perfect later.
Larry, now there's a crazy guy. All right, a lot of people think I'm on steroids, man. Think about the guy from Oklahoma, man. He's crazy.
He's crazy
in a good way.
In a good way. And Nito says it like this. Nito Cobain, for those
there's a class guy.
He who is one of the great thinkers and president of High Point University, and I've had him on the show, and I'll have him on this.
And Great Harvest Bakery too.
And Great Harvest, that's right.
Yeah.
He says very much like Jeff just said. He said, ask yourself these questions. What's the best that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? What's the most likely thing to happen? And are you willing to live with the worst to get to the best? Yeah, and it makes it so easy to make the decision, because if you're not going to die, if death is not in that list of things that will happen, shoot, go for it, take a chance, start a company,
right.
Go
for it. Exactly. Your mom will be there to pick you up anyway.
That's absolutely. So this book, I've just been going through it. You talk about just one thing you talked about that I have to. It slapped me, man. Slapped me upside my head. Is change the mood of your office and change the mood of your company by making a decision. And once you make that decision, you can change how things look and how things. Talk about that. Just the feeling that you get.
I think people talk a lot about culture in businesses, and I've been in major businesses with tens of thousands of employees as a C-level executive, and then I've been in small businesses, and people talk about culture and culture and culture. I say, forget over that. Talk about mood. Mood changes a business more than anything there is. You can have a great company, great products, and have a bad mood in the company, and it ruins everything. You can have a crappy product, but have a great mood and still have a good company. So mood will affect more and more and more. And a lot of people don't, get really on this mood thing, and they don't make decisions, and that really affects the mood. And so I tell people, just make decisions. Even if they're wrong, people know you're willing to change, move, adapt. And that's really what business is about. It's always about, lead and driving change, and then in the end, growing profits. And that's what you really have to get to. I remember one time my CFO said, I said, we're going out and get some sales. And he said, well, profitable sales. I said, is there any other kind? There's no other kind.
That's right. That's right.
You got to have,
I like this also. You got to you got to be a change agent if you're gonna be successful. You got to be willing to change, and you got to, when you mess up. I liked it when you said, I messed up, so I went and fixed it. If you mess up, fix it.
Exactly.
He said,
that's what you did when you're at home.
Yeah.
What's the difference in business? Will, I'm impressed. You've read this book.
Man, this is a good.
I tell you, a lot of these guys you get on the radio shows. I mean, you're about content, baby. I mean, a lot of guys, they don't read the stuff that we put out there, and you've read it. I'm impressed.
Well, I've tried to be a teacher by preaching and practicing what I teach and preach. And what I learned is that the brightest people will take 2 years, 3 years of their thinking and put it in a book. And I can get I can do a download of their thinking in my head in a day or two just by reading this book. And here's one thing that I love. He said, how do you get your employees to buy into the changes you need? How do you change your business in a charismatic, effective way that instills enthusiasm and results in profit? The same way I do. You get up in your business. If something sucks, get rid of it. If it isn't working, change it.
Proved it. It's by being authentic.
Yes.
And I can only be who I can be. I can't fake it by being somebody else, because that's too hard. It's hard enough being who I am. But I love that. That's what you are doing. You're showing how to be authentic, and by being authentic, people want leaders. They want people who are authentic, who are real, and they're striving for that. There's a void of that in this country.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. One more thing, I got to touch on this, because this is about the economy, and we're going to talk about how to help people through the economy. But you say good economy. Bad economy. It doesn't matter. I'm sick and tired of people acting scared, whining about all the things they can't do, thinking of through every little detail, and then playing it safe. That's the path to mediocrity, and it makes change agents miserable. It makes everybody miserable. You may think you need to play it safe so you don't lose, but you don't ever know what's going to work. And so what? Please tell me what's the worst that can happen. Then you talk about the little cut. So I love that. You know, folks, the economy has stopped people from living their dreams, from taking a chance, from going after possibilities. Oh, I'm scared. Well, look, this is the time when winners are made. Jeff is sharing with you. I share with you. Now is the time. Am I right about it, Jeff?
That's exactly right. Get off your rear end and get it done. I mean, don't wait. Just start moving. In bad economies, I mean, it's been tough. People are saying, my business is growing at triple digit. I just bought a recent business last year. I've tripled the business since we bought it. Is it because it's a great economy? No, it's not the best economy. The difference is we said we're going to go do it, and we make it do it. So find the value proposition, find the messaging, and then work the system, whatever system you got, and hustle. And I've always found hustling outbeats everything.
You know what, folks? He said it. Now, find the value proposition, work the business, and hustle. And folks, I can't say this enough. The secret to my success over the years simply has been I hustle. I'm the scrappy kid who kept getting knocked down and I kept getting back up. You just got to make up your mind that's what you're going to do. And I know it's tough. I know it's hard. I know you've lost your job. You're facing foreclosure. But don't give up and keep hustling. Keep fighting. Keep talking. Keep looking for opportunities. They're all around. People are still trying to get in America from other countries. They're getting in wheel wells. They're getting in the back of hot trucks. They're doing whatever they got to do to get on little boats, little rafts, little creaky ships. Why? Because this is a place where you can live your dreams. This is a place where you can live your dreams.
Exactly right, and make it happen. I mean, and there's always going to be someone bigger than you, okay?
Right.
I mean, I was sitting down one time, sitting next to the CMO of GE, and I'm thinking, well, what's your growth target for this year? And it was CMO turned to me and told me it was $15 billion. He had to grow his business by $15 billion in order to meet his target. That was bigger than the size of my business.
Wow.
And I'm thinking he's got to grow one of my companies a year just to meet his targets. I mean, so I realize there's always someone bigger. So just make the things that you need to do. You might not be the smartest. You might not be the best looking. You might not have all the things you need, but take what you've got and make it happen. You can make something work out of it.
Keep that thought, because we're going to come right back to that thought. I've got something we're going to share with people right out the book and out of my thinking. We're going to share. You're listening to the Willie Jolley Show across America on Sirius XM, Channel 141, HUR Voices, the Wealthy Ways Show with Willie Jolley, and for sure, the best is yet to come.
I always kept my dreams on the ground. Life had enough ups and downs. But Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams and overcame my fear of heights. Now
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for years I've told people that in order to have a greater life, it starts by having greater individual days. If you have a great day and you repeat that great day 7 times, you've had a great week. And you repeat that week 4 times, you've had a greater month. And then repeat that month 12 times, you've had a greater year, and you're on your way to a greater life. And it starts with that individual day. I recommend you start each day with something powerful. I call it the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Rather than starting your day with bad news, how many people got killed, or how many children got snatched, or how many fires there were, I recommend you start your day with something to inspire and empower and encourage you to make this day a great day. We're excited to announce the start of Jolley TV on my Facebook page. Go to Willie Jolley, Willie.Jolley on Facebook. Just go to Willie.Jolley on Facebook and get ready for a great day and a great life. Have a great day on purpose.
faith, talk by faith, move by faith, and live by faith. You gotta have faith. Keep the faith.
Wow, I am back on the air, and I'm excited. Hope you're enjoying the music. I want everybody to go to williejolly.com. What did I say? williejolly.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It's absolutely free. Get a download of me and Bob Johnson, the billionaire, as a gift. If you want that, that's something just to help you become more successful. How he went from nothing to a billionaire, and how you can do it too. Also, look at some of the videos on the website. The new video from the $1 Million Roundtable, and look at the video from Fox News. I was just on Fox News, and it told a great piece on my story, my life story, in 3.5 minutes. Fantastic. So go there. And then I'm pushing everybody who's listening today to go to Jeff Hayzlett's website. It's Jeff, it's Hayzlett.com, isn't it?
You're right, but I was just taking a second. It took me a minute to get there, Willie, because I'm downloading one of your songs right now. So
Bless you.
I got to clear off my hard drive because I want them all.
Oh,
so,
fantastic. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, you can get my stuff at Hayzlett.com, HAYZLETT.com, or just search Hayzlett anywhere on the internet. Man, if you can't find me, then you can't read.
That's right. Twitter and Facebook and all the above. The book is called Running the Gauntlet: Essential Business Lessons to Lead, Drive, Change, and Grow Profits. And everybody wants to grow profits. You know, I wrote a newsletter, a blog recently, and I said, the secret to success, and this is really what Jeff was talking about before. I was in a program, and there with some thought leaders, and we were all around a table, and one of them had built a very successful business, a number of successful businesses, sold one, built another one, sold that, and he has become a multimillionaire. And he said, young man, he's in his 80s now. He said, young man, here's the secret to success. Find your unfair advantage. Find your unfair advantage and use it wisely, and it will give you favor in business and in life. Now, what that means is, if you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, your unfair advantage is your height. If you're Mariah Carey, your unfair advantage is 5-octave range. Your unfair advantage might be, as a businessman, how you think around problems. Whatever it is, Jeff Hayzlett markets his behind off. He understands that it's about marketing. Don't worry about the economy. Don't worry about where you could drop him in the middle of Australia or in some other country where he doesn't even speak the language. But he understands that you find something people need, and you find a problem, and you offer a solution, and then you tell everybody you know about it. Am I right about it, Jeff?
That's exactly right. I'm sitting here making a list of all my unfair advantages. I mean, I'm so good looking, I'm so smart, all these things, Jeff Hayzlett's all these things, man. It's amazing. People should just give up. Any one of my competitors should just give up when they just hear my name. They should start running, And but part of it's got to be that confidence.
It really does. It really does.
You've got to be really sure about yourself. I mean, look, I am not the best looking, although I like to think I'm eye candy. I'm just super chunky size, And I like to think all these things, but you've got to have confidence in yourself, and that's the first thing. I just want to grant that to everybody, because if you can have that, you can overcome a lot of different things. Because I truly am not the best looking. I am not the smartest. I'm not the fastest. And back in college and high school, they used to measure my speed with a calendar. In sports. So, and my wife will tell you, from her grandmother. First time I met my wife's grandmother, my wife's 5'1", about 105 pounds. I'm 6'3", 280 some pounds, and Grandma Agnes was smaller than Tammy. And she looked way up at me. She looked at Tammy. She looked way up at me. She turned back to Tammy and said, "Isn't he bigger than necessary?" Okay, that was my introduction. So, but I just want to go grant everybody the gift of confidence.
Absolutely.
Just go ahead and suck it up. You can do it, and you can. Anybody can do it, and that's what you really have to do.
I think that's a bold and incredible pearl that you just shared with people. Develop a confidence, and you sometimes have to talk yourself into it. You just literally have to talk yourself into it and keep
and practice. Willie.
That's right. Absolutely.
I talk about my first book, The Mirror Test. I talk about how. Look, Willie, you're great. You can sing, you can speak, you exude charisma. but that comes with some practice, man.
Right, that's right. That's
you
right.
know that.
That's
I mean,
right.
God gives you certain gifts. We all know that, and hopefully we can find those gifts.
Right.
But even if it hasn't given you the greatest gifts in the world, you can practice and get it better, and get it to a level of proficiency that you can accomplish certain things. And so it doesn't just happen. The best athletes in the world practice.
Right.
Practice.
That's right, folks. We were talking about that, and I wrote this another piece in one of the, and you hit it right on the head. Michael Jordan has a great quote. He said, "Talent is God-given. Ability you must work on, and that's on you."
That's great.
Am I right?
That's great. Yeah, that's very good. That's why I said, one of my rules, grow professionally. I'm reading all the time. I'm looking at things. My team knows that I just absorb all this stuff. They send me, here's 10 tips, here's 5, here's 3, here's what people are looking at, here's the trending topic, so I can keep up to date. I want to, do all these things, and you just got to invest in it. You got to make it happen.
Absolutely. There's another chapter in here I got to talk about. It says, be direct and talk about the elephants in the room. Even ride them and teach them tricks. It's a better way, even if it feels wrong. That is profound, because you got to deal with the elephants in the room. You got to deal with them. And as speakers, we know we got to deal with the elephants, but you have said it so wonderfully. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, get them up there. I mean, everybody knows they're sitting there in the middle of the table in a big pink tutu sitting on the table. Why not just talk about them and move on? Because you're going to walk away from a meeting or event or whatever it might be, and you're going to be faced with that elephant again and again. And the problem is those elephants get bigger, and they suck up a lot of water and a lot of food, so they eat lots of resources inside your business. And they're going to take more time as they get bigger, and they're going to need a bigger place. And so I say kill them elephants off fast.
Absolutely.
And that's why I say deal with things and be transparent and be direct and say, everybody just say, that's what's up. We all know what's on the table. Let's just get it out there.
Absolutely. I think that was a big piece that people need to hear. So, this book it talks about a number of points. You got to talk about change. You talk about how to change, and don't avoid the if it ain't broke mentality. Lead by example, and you got to lead. You got to be a leader if you're going to lead. Colin Powell said it like this. He said, "Leaders fix problems. You find a problem, you fix it. Just deal with it." And that goes back to the elephant. Just deal with it. I love this. He says, "Forget fear, apathy, and failure. It's time to take responsibility for your business." Let's talk a little bit about that, because that's the secret.
You should. I mean, who owns it?
That's right.
That's right. I can't get over the fact that every time you look in the mirror, the person that's responsible is always looking back at you. I say it again and again and again. So don't be looking for somebody. Just get on it. Make it happen.
Absolutely. You also say that what are the best ways owners and leaders can lead, drive change, and grow? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, they need to drive the change. I mean, you need to be, that's what a leader is a change agent inside the company. And a lot of times, we know that as business owners, we want to get things to a certain level and then coast it. It's like, oh, I got it fixed. It's the way it should be. That's when you should start trying to break it. Because you want a continuous improvement mentality inside your business. So constantly changing. Not change for change's sakes, but change for growth. Change to grow in terms of more insights, change to grow in terms of more profits, change to grow in terms of more proficiencies in the process. And that's the way in which you grow the business.
Constant and never-ending improvement. We call it Kanai or Kazai principle. You've got to have constant and never-ending improvement. We look at this radio show. I'm now on a new station, and I came to this station because they're doing exceptional new things, and they're pushing the envelope. And I saw it, and I'm part of Howard University's daily offering with my WHUR morning show right before Steve Harvey. And I said, I want to be part of this new thing. This is where they're going. This is the edge. I want to be on the edge. There's an old saying said, why not go out on a limb? Isn't that where the fruit is?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
So this is what Jeff Hayzlett talks about in his books and his life and his messages and his programs and his speeches. He says, you know what, folks? Go get them. Run the gauntlet. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid to give it a shot. And that's what he talks about over and over again, and getting the right people in your organization. You talk about the bus a little bit, too. You talk about the bus a little bit. And that for those who are in the self-help industry, we know that in the book Good to Great, Jim Collins talks about getting on the bus and getting the right people on the bus. But you also talk about make the decision and be strong enough and courageous enough to say, you know what? That person is not the right person for us. And you
get them off the bus. I like to get on the bus, take over the bus, plan the route, drive the bus, and run over everybody that's in my way.
And if people who are not on the bus aren't the right ones, get them off the bus early. And I took that to heart because over the years, that was a problem with me. I'm so optimistic. I keep thinking that I can turn this pig into a pearl. You know, some of them.
No, it's no way. It's all you're going to do is just tick off the pig, and it's really messy. So, you know, every time you try to kiss one of those pigs, put lipstick on it. It's just messy, and it makes them really mad.
Well, I got a minute left in this interview. You know, as we said, when you're having fun, they go quick. Jeff, closing thoughts for people as they go to fight this challenging time, but to build their business. Closing thoughts that you want to share with folks.
Well, the biggest thing that we know, and Willie, you know this, we every time we look in the mirror and we take our own mirror test, as we're running these gauntlets, I'll use those analogies from titles of my book from myself, Jeff Hayzlett, is the fact that, you know, we are blessed with wonderful things, and we're not the brightest and smartest people, but we can make it happen, and you can make it, and anyone can do this. And it just takes time, money, and expertise. So line those things up. Know what you want. Know where you want to go, and go get it done. Get on the horse and start riding. That's what we say in South Dakota. And I want you to ride the biggest, most beautiful horse. So get moving and get going now.
Man, thank you, man. You are fantastic for getting folks running the gauntlet as well as the mirror test. The both bestsellers, Running the Gauntlet and Mirror Test, and Jeff Hayzlett is my dear friend. Thank you, brother, for being on with me, man.
Well, thank you, and I can't wait. I got to go. I got to go listen to one of your songs.
Bless your heart. Thank you, Jeff. Have a great one. Have safe travel. We'll talk soon.
All right, cheers.
Thank you. Wow, folks, what a great interview. Well, I want to encourage you to get his books, get his stuff, and go to Willie Jolley and to Jeff Hayzlett's websites and get stuff that will grow you and empower you and inspire you. I want to thank my engineer and producer, Steve Robinson, and all the folks here at Sirius XM Channel 141. And I will talk to you next week with another interview that will empower and inspire you. This is Willie Jolley, and for sure, the best is yet to come.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.